Obviously, in the week, we had news about Mad Moose, which really particularly upset you, Billy.
Well, did it?
Well, no, from a character point of view, come on, there's characters in racing.
I think you guys spoke up for the character. He is a character. It'd be very interesting to hear what Dave's got to say. Interesting in the paper, they talk about considering the options. It'd be nice to hear what the options are. Really. Yeah,
OK. Well, we have got Dave Arthur on the line that maybe can give us a bit of an update on Mad Moose. Good afternoon, David.
Good afternoon, Pete.
Hi, Dave. Can you give us some information on that and what your options are now in relation to the fabulous Mad Moose?
Yeah, certainly, yeah. I mean, at this stage, there's no decisions being made. As I think we've discussed before, Nigel owns half of Mad Moose and Midland Park Racing own the other half. Bradley, who looks after the horse with Nigel, is over in Dubai at the moment, so they've only had brief conversations. So at this stage, there's absolutely no decisions being made for retirement or future or what that might look like. As I understand it, as one of the syndicate members, the ban is indefinite, and they don't accept any entries from Nigel. And whether the use of that term means they would if he moved to another trainer, I don't know. But obviously Nigel owns half of them, so I think this is a difficult spot. He isn't banned abroad and he isn't banned in Ireland, so I suppose that leaves that option open.
So it's an indefinite ban then? It's not sort of a 9-month...
That's how I've read it in the BHA's official website. Was the ban was indefinite, so they would not accept any entries from Nigel Twiston-Davies for Mad Moose for an indefinite period. But they did build in a 9-month review. I think Nigel's comment was, well, if I can't run it, how can I prove anything in 9 months' time? Which I think is the frustration, including the flat on the ban, where I think Nigel would have been very keen to have a go on the flat, given they've done massive amount of stalls work with Gary Withersford, with a view to hopefully running him on the flat. No problem with the jumps ban. That's understandable, but I think it would have been nice to have a stalls test as other horses would get to have a go and see whether he's able to produce something on the flat.
Yeah, I mean, we made that point in the week actually that we can understand the jumps ban, but not necessarily the flat, because the horse goes in the stalls. It's not going to affect anything. There's no danger really if the horse doesn't come out the stall. He doesn't come out the stall.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. I think, I mean, it's difficult. You have to accept the BHA's decision. You know, he has misbehaved on various occasions, and we respect their decision to that extent. And I'm sure the Midland Park management would agree with that. And I think it got to a stage where something needed to be done. But he loves racing. It's just this quirk of if we could talk to him, we could understand why he doesn't want to jump off with the others. But when he's racing, you can see a more enthusiastic horse. And it's the same when he's at home working. He doesn't look like a horse who wants to retire when he's at home. So it's a quandary, there's no question.
And from your point of view, David, that aside, obviously you're obviously not in great form with the fact that you can't run over here, but I mean, it must be great being part of a syndicate that is part of this horse.
Oh, without a doubt. I've put on blogs, and I think I got slightly misquoted on a couple of websites, that he has been a horse of a lifetime. He's fulfilled dreams. I've led it personally. Fortunately, led him into the winners' enclosure at Cheltenham when he won a couple of Aprils ago. Led him in when he was into Sprinter Sacre. He couldn't pay for those sort of dreams. And being such a character has meant he's got an enormous fan base who are being very vocal at the moment, understandably, and it's absolutely brilliant. It's an absolute thrill of a lifetime.
OK. Well, lovely. Well, that's wherever you go next, and obviously you've got the options of going to Ireland. Obviously, you'll spend the next couple of weeks, couple of months deciding where to go. All the best, and thanks very much for that update, Dave.
No trouble at all, Pete. All the best.
Thanks very much. I'd like to get your view on that, Jimmy. Obviously, what would it be like for you riding Mad Moose?
It's quite similar to a horse about a year, 18, probably 2 years ago, a horse that Milton Harris trained called Chenanbar. He was the same, and they tried to run him on. He was allowed to run on the flat, or he ran on the flat a couple of times, but then he ended up just standing in the stalls.
Right.
And then they went to France with him, and I think he jumped off and went and jumped one fence and then refused in the open ditch and stood in it. So they had to bypass it the next time they came around. That was one. And then they tried him in Ireland not so long ago, because he wasn't banned in Ireland. Obviously, the ban is in England. But I thought it was just 9 months. Reading a couple of things,
yeah, I did as well,
because someone made a comparison about, well, why does he get 9 months for refusing to race, and the horses of Mohammed Al Zarounis that were banned for they were tested positive for illegal substances.
Yeah.
They got 6 months.
Yeah.
So where do you know? I don't know.
It's a fair point. If Sandy wasn't watching his investment in the next race, he might be able to answer that question for us, Sandy.
I personally am bored about the story, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, Sky Sports News were covering it yesterday.
Straight away, going to get loads of unfollows now.
Yeah,
They
were covering the news yesterday. You know, it's happened. It's not the first time it's ever happened. You talked about Shanabar doing it. There's been horses in the past that have done it. Punters are losing their money. I personally like the horse. He is charismatic.
Okay.
But I think, we know everything about it. We've seen what's happened. And
his last run at Sandown was hinting that he jumped off and he went. And I thought, whatever Gary Weatherford is doing is working. I thought it was progressive.